Hello everybody, once again my name is the Gunslinger and I have another replay for you that I want to check out. This was actually sent to me from some people on TeamLiquid.net from a tournament that was actually taking place on the Latin American server. And so I figured it would be good to give you a little show. So, in the top right corner on an awesome map of Dual Sight, we have SenDoh. SenDoh is from the clan Asurus, and you may see some more replays of him later. And in the bottom left on this two-player map, we have Tunico, who is the green Zerg. And I've seen both of these guys play a couple times before, checked out some other replays of theirs, so it'll be interesting to see what they're going to do. Also, keep in mind, I do want to apologize that there will be a bit of a watermark up high, and then I will not be able to get my overlay. I'm working with some different software, so hopefully I can come up with a good solution within the next day or so about what to do with that. If you have any solutions yourself, feel free to comment below, and I will definitely take them into consideration because I want to bring forth the best videos I possibly can. Now, we see that SenDoh is going to go for a first barracks, not very surprising after the supply depot. That can't really be argued against. It's the most basic opening that you can do. From there, though, it'll be interesting to see if he... okay, so he does get the refinery, as I was about to ask. That's going to be very crucial as well. Meanwhile, nothing really happening for Tunico. I do believe that he may move a drone down here for a fast expand. Sure enough, that's exactly what it appears to be. We've seen that before. Tunico is going to go ahead and get that early hatchery to get a quick economic lead over the Terran opponent. Meanwhile, the timing's just about perfect so that SUV will complete just as the barracks is done, so we will see a quick overall command, as well as a Marine out into the main, out of the choke of the main. Now there is a drone that's continuing to scout around this base, sees the orbital command, sees the refinery, sees the barracks. It'll be interesting to see what scouting information he sees. Meanwhile, SenDoh is actually able to scout the early expansion, as well as the spawning pool and the extractor that has already gone down. Interesting to note, based on the strategy I've seen with Tunico before, you'll see that here that he'll probably pull these workers once he has enough for the Zergling speed upgrade. And then he will be very, very aggressive with those Zerglings and seek even more expansions. Meanwhile, you see over here that SenDoh is going to go into a factory, so we may see some Hellions due to the fact that he has some quick gas. I don't think he has enough gas to go into a starport build, so that's what I'm going to reserve at the moment, seeing as how he also only has Marines. Now the expansion is done for Tunico, and he is going for the Zergling speed boost, and has cut the workers mining gas as I expected. So nothing too surprising here. He is going to have to move that Overlord away before these Marines get too wise to his location, as they are able to kill him pretty easily. Now you are going to see Hellions go out. So the Hellions will be able to provide some early harassment. Meanwhile, SenDoh is going to go for a supply depot just outside of his natural expansion. So you may see an expansion coming up for him in the very near future. Getting more Hellions and no tech labs, surprisingly. So I wonder how serious he is about continuing to use these Hellions. You may see a tech lab go down on either one, and then there can be a simple hot swap. Now, a spine crawler is going to go down for Tunico in his expansion, and the Marines have moved forward. Probably going to take out this Overlord very easily. Will he apply enough pressure? With these units, the Zerglings are out. They do not have the speed bonus yet, so these Queens are at a risk. Those Marines are outranging them, so they can do better damage. Things are so much better against air units instead. Should hide behind the spine crawler to do extra damage. Now, speed boost is just about 5 seconds away from being finished. And more Hellions on the way, as well as more Marines. And an expansion is being built, as well as bunker, so you will see that SenDoh will be able to defend himself. Now, the Hellions are actually going to get underneath, well, the single Hellion is able to get behind the mineral patch and force the drones to go back into the main. The Queens are the ones who are going to stay back defending, but the Marines will simply poke away at Larva and do as much harassment as they possibly can. Slowly hitting away, but the spine crawlers are going to move forward. He can decide to attack, but he will not do enough to destroy it. Not in the slightest, but the Zerglings with their speed will come out and do some huge hits against the Marines. Unfortunately, they are able to do more damage to the Zerglings instead. The Queens will start taking out the Hellions, and there are 2 Marines left. One Queen microwaving away, and the spine crawler will get the final kill. He already has 4. So the bunker has been loaded up with Marines, and 2 more Hellions are going down. One thing to note is more refineries are being built by SenDoh, so it'll be interesting to see where his tech goes from here. Going for a tech lab, however, continue leaving Hellions. My money's on, yep, that's exactly what I was about to say. It seems like a hot swap, as I mentioned, where the barracks will lift off and the factory will basically land right next to the tech lab. You will be able to get the infernal pre-igniters, as well as build a couple more factories and get some serious Hellion aggression coming down the way. Unfortunately, Tunico is kind of unprepared for this and will not be able to respond appropriately. He does not have enough gas to necessarily go to a lair. Well, to make matters worse, he went for an Evo chamber instead of... Ooh, wow, he's even going for a macro hatchery. Don't know if I approve of this. I would rather see him go for an expansion and go for something that would probably strike from the air right off the bat. Seeing as how it is an army focused mostly on Marines and Hellions. And the Hellions are probably going to be favored more due to the fact that they're hard to get factories out. Those Zerglings will not stand a chance against the Hellions. Even the SCVs decide that they can still go back to work even when under attack. More Zerglings have been spawned, as well as a layer of... Oh wow, I yawned today. I haven't slept at all in the last 48 hours, so bear with me, I apologize. The Hellions are going to be a bit more aggressive and chase these Zerglings around. They do have speed, however, the Hellions do have range, and soon they will have the pre-igniter, which is the P20 upgrade. He will lose 1 Hellion, for sure. The last move will try and run away. Will he lose this last one? He should be able to torch that Zergling, in fact. And yes, torches every last one. Good micro by the Terran player SenDoh. Meanwhile, Tunico is once again even further on the ropes. They are even in the supply count, however, if you look at the units lost, oh wow, they're even similar to that. The income tab tells a different story, however, that Zerg has the stronger economy with more workers due to the fact that the Zerglings were able to do so much damage. However, with more of these Hellions on the way, it will be interesting to see what he will do from there. Now, something to note is that he is going to make some siege tanks, as well as some Hellions, and get a siege tech. But I do notice now that he is building an armory as well. That means one of two things. One, he's going for serious upgrades on his mech army, or worse, he's going for Thors, especially when you see a Spire coming from Tunico, especially with 3 bases. You can expect that 3-base Muta type of play may be good against the mass Hellions that were coming down the path, but if you know Terran strategy, the Hellion transition into Thors super effective, because you basically force your opponent, especially the Zerg opponent, to go for air units after doing so much harassment with the Hellions, switch to Thors, cannot be beaten due to the fact that you are so dominant, you have air control. You can even get air units yourself and dominate these guys, lots of banshees, things like that. And so much destroyed in this base. I don't think that with Hellions will be able to destroy the hatchery. However, not too many units, in fact no units really being made by Tunico at the moment. He does have a lot of overlords, and if you look at the unit counting station, he does have 12 Zerglings. Meanwhile, 9 Hellions, 2 siege tanks, 3 Marines, 3 Queens will be somewhat effective, but he will be able to chase any type of units that walk down the path. Scanning down, so he will go ahead and destroy the consumers as he sees them. Once again, the overlords, they have no fears. Hellions cannot shoot up. Now, interesting to note that 2 Thors are now out on the field. He also has gotten an engineering bay. So he has decided to not only build Spy Evos, but I think... where did he build? I knew he built them somewhere. He is building missile turrets. So he will definitely try to defend his base. Now, the Mutas are out on the field, and the Hellions are trying to run around as much as they can. He will go ahead and grab the Thors and the siege tanks, and they will be able to do some damage. If he wants to see if he can apply as much harassment as necessary. He is trying to run for his life, going to destroy some units as he goes along, running. The Carnage is, in fact, well in the control of Tunico. He needs to be careful how he handles his units. He is going to get 6 more Mutalisks as well as another hatchery, getting that expand into that north area. However, when he moves into the space, you will see that